What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to another gaming news week. I hope everybody having an amazing day. We got a couple of big news to go over. So, without further ado, let's get on with the news. According to Tom Henderson, Tom Clancy the Splinter Cell remake is internally delayed at Ubisoft. Which at this point I'm not really surprised because I have a feeling Ubisoft is shifting their focus to Assassin's Creed right now to make up all the crazy stuff that's been going on over there. A couple of projects got canceled, a couple of layoffs and stuff, so they're trying to recoup some money back, especially after the whole thing with the, what was it? It was the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake that got canceled. I believe that was like in February. I think it was in February or early March. Yeah, I want to say early March. It was announced that it was canceled with a couple of other projects, but for some reason, freaking Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development. But I digress. I don't work at Ubisoft, but still, it is kind of crazy. Especially a lot of people have been asking for the return of Splinter Cell and stuff, but now it's internally delayed. But like I said, it makes sense. We haven't heard nothing about it, and I believe Ubisoft is more focused on the remake for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and stuff, which, depending who you ask, will be considered the second best Assassin's Creed game. A lot of people will argue Assassin's Creed 2, where you play as Ezio Auditore. They say that is the best Assassin's Creed and stuff, so depending who you ask, it could go either way. But I personally mostly enjoyed Assassin's Creed 2. I never got a chance to play Black Flag because at some point I was not really feeling Assassin's Creed and stuff. So after I played Assassin's Creed 2, I stopped playing Assassin's Creed games. But who knows? I might look at that Assassin's Creed 4 remake and stuff if it's good and stuff. Okay, I did play Assassin's Creed Unity. I played the DLC for Assassin's Creed 4, which is kind of funny, which was Freedom Cry. And I tried to play Origins, couldn't really get into that because I just didn't like the whole RPG stuff. I didn't like the shift to the RPG. I played Shadows and I played Valhalla. I tried to give Valhalla a try. But yeah. We'll see what Ubisoft is going to do with the Splinter Cell and stuff. I have a feeling once the Assassin's Creed 4 release, they're probably going to shift back focus to it. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, this week Ubisoft had a live stream event showcasing the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake called Resynced. They show us the improvements of the original compared to the remake and stuff. And in my opinion, it's a big old jump in. It looks amazing. Like, the texture from the original Black Flag look atrocious compared to the remake and stuff. Like, people just look so shiny, like they just been smothered in Vaseline and stuff. Now the world is more cleaner, the character models look more detailed and stuff. But here are some of the stuff that they featured in this trailer. It says Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced has officially been unveiled, and it's gorgeous remake of Black Flag that overhauls the open world combat and all gameplay systems. This is not an RPG. Black Flag remains an action adventure game Runs on the new Anvil engine, the entire game has been remade with new weather systems, new environments, new gameplay while being faithful to the original. Completely seamless open world, no loading when entering cities. Combat has been overhauled. You can still chain, kill, and parry all the finishers return, but it's not much faster and seems to have a real challenge. Stealth has been overhauled. You can now crouch anywhere now. Parkour seems very similar to Mirage. Edward keeps his old moves as well. All cutscenes seem to be fully mocap. All the old ones have the same animations, while new ones are mocap. No generic animation slop. New narrative missions featuring Blackbeard. Tailing has been revamped. If you get detected, you no longer auto fail. Instead, now is overhauled and the action continues, but the target reacts. It changes the mission accordingly. Jack Dow has even more firepower with more weapons, more cannon types, and now 10 more gameplay. 3 new officers to recruit who have been entirely new missions and bring new skills for the ship. Woodkid is composing new tracks for this game. You can now have pets, monkeys, or cat on the Jack Dow. It is releasing on July 9th on the Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and the PC. But one thing I am kind of upset that it's not being included is the multiplayer and the DLC. So there's no Freedom Cry, no type of multiplayer aspect to it, which is kind of unfortunate. And the price of it, I heard, is going to be $60, which is honestly not bad per se. Kind of feel like you're getting less compared to the original game that had the DLC and multiplayer and stuff. But it could be worse. They could be charging a whole 70 without the multiplayer and stuff. But it is what it is. But while I'm here, I am liking it and stuff. And this looks like it could be a fun experience for those who didn't play the Black Flag series, like including me and stuff. So who knows, I'm not gonna rule out I'm not gonna get it, because to my knowledge I don't think there's no game I'm mostly looking forward to that's coming out in July at the moment. So this could be, July could be official Assassin's Creed month for me, but who knows. I might need to see more of this and stuff, but overall am liking what I'm seeing, and we're still early in the month, so 2026 looks like to be one of the best years when it comes to gaming with the releases that we've been getting so far. And I can't wait to see what more comes out in the future. Dragon Ball fans rejoice. There was a special event that showcasing upcoming stuff for the Dragon Ball Z series. Like, they showed the trailer for the remake of the Dragon Ball movie with Beerus. New content that's going to be dropping for Xenoverse 2 with the final DLC, and for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. But the biggest takeaway from it, they finally revealed what was the Dragon Ball Z promotion that was called Age 1000. And a lot of people assume, and they were right, it is the official reveal of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, which takes place 250 years in the future after Super. And by the looks of it, you're still going to be using create your own character. We got introduced to a new character named Brett that you just saw in the trailer, and Bulma, who is somehow still alive, most likely used the Dragon Balls to become immortal. But later in the trailer, you see her have something around her neck that kind of looks like something that Whis will wear, which kind of give off the feeling that Bulma is an angel. So the question is, where are the other Dragon Ball Z characters? Because we clearly saw Piccolo. But like I said, this was just a reveal trailer for it. We didn't get like how the gameplay is gonna look, but we did look how the end game will look, and it's really amazing how it looks compared to Xenoverse. Because as of right now, this year Xenoverse 2 would turn 10 years since it came out. So yeah, they've been dropping content for that for years. So I think it is about time that we finally get the new installment of Xenoverse 3, which is set to release in 2027. You can wishlist now on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. We're probably going to get more of this later on in the year. But until then, we just gotta wait and see what more stuff they gotta show up for Xenoverse 3. This is definitely gonna be a day one buy for me, and I'm truly excited for it when it eventually releases. Shuhei Yoshida, the former Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studio, revealed why he was fired, and it was because he didn't listen to Jim Ryan. You don't know who Jim Ryan was. He was the original PlayStation CEO during the beginning years of the PS5 launch, which was 2020 going to 2024. And it was revealed that Shuhei Yoshida was not listening to Jim Ryan, and that was the reason for his termination. And all honesty, it just give more people ammo to shit on Jim Ryan and stuff, which is rightfully so, because how PlayStation is right now, I don't think we'll be having these kind of situations if Jim Ryan wasn't there, honestly. Like, his push for certain stuff was like the downfall and stuff, because it was just a heavy push for games as a service and stuff. And yeah, a lot of people equate that to the Jim Ryan era for the PS5. That's why some people feel like the PS5 is just so lackluster compared to its previous gens and stuff. Like, the console is selling like crazy. It just the gameplay. Oh well, not gameplay, but the game's output for its first party studios have been lacking. I say the first couple of years of the PS5, like the cadences of releases for the PS5 was definitely amazing and stuff. But now it just like kind of slowed down because the whole shift to the whole games as a service thing kind of made first parties like decide if they want to be a multiplayer studio or a single player and stuff, which kind of mess up a whole bunch of plans. And also COVID kind of fucked up a whole bunch of stuff in the gaming industry in general and stuff. So we see but we see right now PlayStation is trying to turn stuff around, try to go back to how they normally worked. Like, for example, with the whole pulling back on PC releases of their first party games and stuff, putting more focus into the single player games aspect, because they did cancel a couple of live service games and stuff. So it's gonna be a slow reversal of what PlayStation was trying to push, but overall people are happy. They are shifting back focus to what made them so special, which was the first player of basically the single player story driven games that everybody known and loved them for. Like, even right now, at the time of this recording, the reviews for Suros came out, which is the next game from Housemarque and stuff. And the review scores for are absolutely amazing. I think right now on Metacritic it's at 88. It was at an 89, but IGN gave it a 7, which brought the score down and stuff, which kind of funny. People are literally just cracking jokes on IGN right now because the people who they got reviewing the games is people are drawing, uh, basically questioning like these reviews for these games. Like the biggest one I saw that people complain from IGN review was the mouse PI detective game. IGN gave that thing a 6, which is wild because I saw a lot of people was loving that game and stuff. I'm thinking about getting in, but I probably could get it down the line and stuff. But it's like, yeah, that's low key kind of crazy that they said that thing's a 6. I'm kind of curious about that because I did saw like what the reviewer said. They said it was too repetitively violent and stuff, which I'm like, isn't that the point of the game? Man, I digress. It sucks that Yoshida got fired for that. Jim Ryan should not been in that seat of power and stuff. Or there's something about Jim Ryan. The reason why he got that power because of how well he did in the PlayStation UK area and stuff. But the thing is, he kind of fumbled the PlayStation into this state that kind of screwed him over in the long run and stuff. So hopefully, PlayStation will make a comeback and stuff. I remember I did saw something that they said their the financial report meeting for PlayStation is happening on the 8th of May, so we'll probably get an idea what will be PlayStation plans that they're gonna be doing and stuff, and they're gonna give us like an updated financial report and stuff. So we'll see when that comes around. Capcom has officially announced that Pragmata has sold 1 million copies in 2 days, which is really amazing, especially for a brand new IP. Capcom has really popped off this year where you got Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata. I believe they had another game that released this year. I can't remember. And so, but I think that one did really well, and they still have Onimusha Way of the Sword still set to release this year. So currently right now Capcom is on an amazing run for game releases and stuff, so kudos to them. My opinion on Pragmata, I definitely enjoyed the gameplay. The story was pretty good. Like the whole thing kept you on your toes because you have to be smart how you go into a mission and stuff, and you need to know what you're gonna need to handle the situation. And the characters' interaction with one another was really fun. It definitely give off what a lot of people are saying, like it gives off that paternity feel, like you're playing as this person, and you see this little girl and how she's interacting and stuff. Even though she's a robot, she gives off like, I must protect this child. This is my child now. And a lot of people said that and stuff, and unfortunately, I do have to agree with them with that same sentiment and stuff because I felt that through the game as you see the characters slowly start getting closer with each other and stuff. It definitely was a fun experience. I might go back to Pragmata again to do the lunatic difficulty, but as of right now, I'm gonna hold off on that. Like that's literally the only trophy I need to get the platinum and stuff. So we'll see how that turns out. But I officially did a start to finish A let's play of it is on the channel if you want to take a look for yourself, or if you're still on the fence of Pragmata and you're trying to see if it's a worth purchase. In my opinion, I strongly recommend it and stuff, especially if you want to try a gameplay that feels familiar but also new at the same time. That makes sense because the whole way how you have to fight enemies is definitely different compared to other games. You just run in and shoot or punch them and stuff. This one, like, you definitely have to be smart about it, which I really like the change of it. ID at Xbox was presented by IGN this April that showcased independent developed games that will be coming out in the following months going to 2027. And they had a couple of games that they show off. They show off Al- Alpine is a cinematic third-person action game set on a frozen planet. Mistfall Hunter, a third-person action game set to release in July 2026. Soul Living Arise Overdrive, an action adaptation of the popular webtoon featuring Juju Island Raid update. Soul Living is an anime and stuff. Soul Living Arise is on mobile and stuff, but Overdrive is, I'm guessing, is a more newer version for the consoles version of it. Like, I believe is already out on Steam as of last year, but now is coming to consoles later this year, so it'll be on PS5 and Xbox. I in Kobeni, a one store many stories. A cozy 1990 Japan inspired sim launching on April 30th. Deep Dish Dungeon, a cooking slash dungeon crawler hybrid coming to fall 2026. Crash Out Crew is a chaotic co-op game launching May 28th. Escape Academy 2 Back to School, a sequel featuring an open world campus, and Vapor World Over the Mind, a title that is scheduled for June 2026. So those were the games that was shown off at ID at Xbox. I looked at the games and stuff, and I think the one I'm mostly gonna be checking out is the Soul 11 because I did love when that anime did come out and stuff. So definitely gonna be looking forward to that. But it's nice that Xbox does have an event that focuses on indie developed games. PlayStation has sent out an update to verify your age to keep communication features, basically to make chatting online or messaging a safer space for kids that is below the age, so there won't be any future mishaps of somebody saying something crazy to a kid or stuff like that. And this was part of a new update that PlayStation put out. So if you're on PlayStation and you were doing something, PlayStation would take you, it would basically stop what you're doing so you could accept this new terms and stuff, and it will put you back once you do. So basically, it's nothing crazy. It's just for cracking down. It's basically just a thing for make party chatting and messaging safer for kids that are underage. So it's nothing too crazy and stuff. Like a lot of places are doing like these verify your age stuff because in this day and age, like, people do crazy stuff on social platforms when communicating with younger kids or this, that, and a third, or some people faking that they're at a certain age. So Yeah, this is what it basically is about. The Blood of Dawnwalker is going to have a launch event on April 28th. It will be a 45-minute live stream that will showcase the release date for the game, show off new open world gameplay, a new story trailer, system specs, and dev insights into the game and story, plus more. So if anybody was looking for this game, mark your calendars for April 28th so you could watch the live stream and we'll get the official release date at the event. Apparently, Nintendo is getting caught up in a lawsuit. It reads, gamers have filed a class action lawsuit against Nintendo saying the company will unjustly enrich itself if it doesn't give its US tariff refunds to consumers who pay to raise prices. In March, Nintendo dodged telling me if pass refunds on to customers. If it would pass the refunds on to the customers. So basically, they're saying Nintendo raised the prices of the Nintendo accessories due to the tariffs. And they want to, will they be getting refunds for the increased prices? And I honestly don't know where this will go and stuff, because when it comes to Nintendo and lawsuits, they have a higher win average than losses. So I don't know if this will go anywhere, will this get tossed out, or this will go forward. But honestly, I don't know if they actually have a case with this, because I did saw some people say Nintendo, the prices went up before tariffs. So I'm not 100% sure if this will go into account. But we'll see if there any update to this situation and stuff. And it is interesting that it was said in March Nintendo dodged telling the reporter if it would pass a refund to customers. So maybe there could be something there, but I'm not 100% sure. But we'll wait and see if there's any future updates on this lawsuit. The developers at Build a Rocket Boy and the ones who created Mind's Eye are reportedly considering legal action over pay and working conditions. Lead animator called the studio culture a scarcity and micromanagement one of the worst he's seen in his 20 years in the industry. That is kind of crazy. It's like, it sounds like they're either being not being paid or their pay is significantly cut, and micromanage is kind of crazy. And he said it is the worst he's seen in his 20 years in the industry. Like, granted, I can't say if he worked at Activision or Bethesda, because that, when the news came out what was going on over there, I think that was overly the worst. But the fact he's saying it's the worst he's seen in 20 years, I don't know, honestly. I think the reports about Activision Blizzard working condition, I think that's still the worst. But this could be right up there. And the fact they're considering legal action and stuff, I'm kind of curious how would that turn out, because Mind's Eye didn't do overly well. Like, shoot, they even put a mission in the game saying that the game was purposely it was purposely sabotaged and stuff. Kind of curious how the gameplay of that turned out in the game, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. We might see if there will be any future update on this. I'm kind of hoping there is, because this is kind of crazy, honestly. But we had to take this with a grain of salt because we don't know if these claims are true or whatnot. So we just have to wait for an update if there ever one will come out. I almost forgot about this one, but unfortunately, I don't have a picture to put up on screen. But apparently, the Gang of Dragon developer Nakashoi Studios had to leave their YouTube account, which kind of paints in a picture like this game is going to be canceled, which is unfortunate. Because when this was shown at the Game Awards, bro, this was the only game I was hyped that they show off at the Game Awards. But now it sounded like it's not going to be a thing anymore. Like, it's not, as of right now, it's not confirmed that it's canceled, but this does not make it look good. And the reason why for this situation because NetEase announced that they would stop funding the game, which is held by the creator of the original Yakuza games. Because I think it was like he said that the game would take what like 4 million or 40 million more dollars to complete and stuff, and NetEase didn't want to put up the money for it, and he's been looking to see another publisher will help him and stuff, but there hasn't been any update of any takers, and it's really disappointing because the pictures, the screenshot, and the trailer of it like I prefer the traditional style of Yakuza and stuff, especially now that they went to like a dragon and they're making it like a turn-based combat, which I'm not really a fan of because I grew up playing Yakuza with the straight action combat, and it's not like we're gonna get another Judgment game anytime soon. I don't even think we're ever gonna get another Judgment. So it really sucks that he's in this situation, and NetEase is a bunch of assholes, especially the amount of money they probably made off of Marvel Rivals alone and stuff. They could easily give him the money to finish the game and stuff. They could easily do it. They're just being assholes and not doing it. And it's so confusing why they're not doing it. But I digress. Until we hear official confirmation that the game is canceled, I'm gonna still hold out hopes that we will get this game at some point. I'm just hoping somebody pick it up and just help them fund the game so you could put the game out, because them deleting their YouTube channel is not looking good, honestly. I'm going to close out this video with this bunch of news that came out surrounding the Xbox. So instead of breaking it out in sections, I'm just going to compile them up into one section and stuff. So basically, from now all the way up to the end of the video, this is all the latest Xbox news that came out. And we're going to start with the first one, where Asha, the new CEO of the Xbox division, came out and announced that they're bringing down the price for Game Pass Ultimate. This is what she has to say. Game Pass Ultimate has become too expensive for too many players. Starting today, we're dropping the price from $29.99 to $22.99 a month. Future Call of Duty titles will no longer join Game Pass Ultimate on day one. They will join this tier the following holiday after launch about a year later. Current Call of Duty titles will remain available to Ultimate subscribers. We keep learning and evolving Game Pass to better match what matters to the players. So, this was a rumored thing that Xbox was thinking about doing by removing Call of Duty from day one launching on Game Pass. It could result in a price decrease. And it turns out that what she did. Instead of paying, because when Call of Duty got added, Game Pass was $20, but when Call of Duty came on it, it jumped to $30. So now she removing Call of Duty is bringing down the price to $29.99, basically like 23 something dollars a month if taxes included, which is pretty good start and stuff because somebody put out a basically the prices of Game Pass when it first came out to what it currently is now, and I will post it here. As you can see right here, in 2019 when Game Pass also went first launch, it was $14.99 to $15. But then in 2023, they raised it to $16.99, and September 2024, it jumped to $20 a month. Then of last year of October, they jumped to $30, which is a 50% increase. But now is as of April, it has been adjusted to $22.99, which is pretty good. But now I did talk about this with a friend because it now opens to a bigger discussion, and they want to bring down Game Pass to be more affordable to their player base. What other game day one would not launch on Game Pass, but instead a launch a year later? Would this will you be possible for like the next Gears of War game, the next mainline Halo, maybe Blade, maybe Elder Scrolls 6 and stuff. So those are possibilities and stuff. But I did saw a lot of people say this is good, but instead of removing Game Pass, they should remove stuff that they don't really need. Like I believe there was like a Fortnite subscription on Game Pass, or maybe remove like Ubisoft or EA subscription off of it. So basically stuff that people don't really use and stuff they could get rid of. But of course, it does made a fun discussion surrounding Call of Duty on Game Pass because I don't really. I do watch console war stuff. I don't participate in it. But it is funny, entertaining to read comments and stuff because one thing that console warriors love to do, they speak in absolute. So in this case, they would laugh at that PlayStation fans, or basically PlayStation fan had to pay like $7 for Call of Duty and stuff. So, but now that the next Call of Duty that is most likely is going to come out this year, now that they will have to pay $70 also because it's not going to be on Game Pass. So the thing is, like, now you got to pay Call of Duty also, which is kind of funny because most people will purchase Call of Duty anyway. So I didn't really see the point of putting in a subscription to begin with and stuff. Because you really think about it, like, if your player base is playing Call of Duty through a subscription, which instead of buying it, you actually cutting through to your possible bigger outcome sales that you can gotten for that player base. Because PC and PlayStation was gonna buy Call of Duty regardless and stuff. But the fact that they took a gamble not putting on Xbox and not basically making not Xbox players not having to purchase the said game, you kind of do lose a little bit of revenue and stuff. Like you do get like the player base inside. I don't know how would that really track with people on Game Pass, but you do lose out on potential sales of the game release if it was able to be purchased at full price day one on that platform. Because it basically the reason why PlayStation don't put their new releases on PlayStation Plus. They don't want to capitalize on their sale. They will fully get all the stuff they could get from a sale from one of their games, and probably a year or two it will probably get added to a PlayStation Plus month thing. Like right now they have they did for Spider-Man 2 that's coming to PlayStation Plus. this month they had like Horizon Zero Dawn remaster and stuff, because they already got all the potential sales out of that game, so they have no reason not to put it on PlayStation Plus. For but you won't see like Ghost of Yote or Sora's being on day one. But hey, that just me. It's cool that she dropped down the price for them. We'll see what more they're planning to do with Game Pass in the future and stuff, because there is a rumor that there are good. They announced they were gonna do like a lower tier that won't have Xbox game day one, but we'll see how that turns out. All right, the next bit they have it is they they're working on a partnership with Discord when it comes to Game Pass, which was later leaked to be a Discord Nitro will be included in a new Game Pass Starter Edition, which is a $10 tier of Game Pass. You basically get 50 games, including Stardew Valley, Fallout 4, and Grounded, and you're able to stream 10 hours. Let me see. 10 hours of cloud gaming a month. So if you finish that 10 hours, you're out of luck until next month, which is pretty weird, because I did saw somebody say like, yeah, you get this, but you still have to pay for Discord Nitro. So it's like, then what's the point of adding this tier into Game Pass if you still have to pay for Nitro? It's weird in my opinion, because like do people on the Xbox use Discord really like that and stuff? Like, I couldn't understand using Game Pass to talk to friends and stuff, but like other than that, do you really use Discord like that? Like, I have Discord and I don't really use it like that, because me and my friends talk through party chat and stuff, and we text through the app on our phones if we want to message each other. So it's like, I don't know, there gotta be a reason for it. But $10 a month is not bad. It just, me personally, I just don't see a point in it if you still have to pay for Nitro and you're getting like what, 10 hours of streaming, a cloud streaming, and it doesn't even sound like you're getting day one launches of Xbox games. So the next Forza game will not be on this. But I don't know, I digress. Like, this was a leak. I have a feeling they probably will go into this more, but it sounds like this is pretty much it, which doesn't make no sense to me. But I digress. She did had a meeting with. She did have like a interview with some outlets and stuff, and she did talk about Xbox will continue to be where the players are, and she said we will reevaluate our approach to it exclusively, windowing and AI, and share more as we learn and decide. So basically, this had everybody in the big news going crazy, because it kind of sounded like Xbox was gonna bring back exclusives to their platform, basically no longer launching on a PlayStation platform. But but as of right now, this is something that's not gonna change over time. They're still gonna bring it to other platforms by the sound of it. But I did saw earlier today that she also said they were. Let me see. I could find exactly what she said. Give me 1 second, because she said she's still evaluating. She said she's evaluating the whole exclusive thing. She said, as according to Hunter, she said no additional info to share about exclusively. We'll take a data-driven approach and strategic-driven approach, and then we'll look at our principles and we'll make some calls. I want to make the right decision, not the fastest decision. And at the end, she did say it's still a business. So it is what it is. Like, she could say she's all about exclusives and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's still a business. She's not gonna change. Uh, she cannot change something like this overnight because they have to look at the possible outcomes. Because even before Xbox brought their games to PlayStation stuff, Xbox game will not really sound like that regardless. So this whole thing, they're blaming Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond for the strategy. Once Game Pass was introduced, you guys literally stopped buying the games, even before that. So, for example, I believe it was like Final Fantasy like 15 when it came out. It said that the split between the Xbox and the PS4 during that time was 80-20. Like 20% of Xbox bought the game, 80% bought on PlayStation. Even look at Quantum Break. That thing didn't even sell that much. Then it went to PC, hoping to pick up the sales and stuff. It didn't really do much, but still. So it's kind of crazy that we're seeing like she's deciding how to evaluate and stuff, and of course the people in the Xbox ecosystem are excited that she could potentially bring back exclusive. People pulled out receipts that they were against exclusive in the early couple of months, even last year. But that's a whole different argument. Everybody's a flip flopper. It is what it is. As soon as the the ecosystem that you rep change something, you go follow suit. So it is what it is. But it doesn't change the fact that, for all we know, she may want to have exclusive, but at the end of the day, it's probably not going to be her call to make. Or they could do the strategy like, hey, no games day one and stuff, which they somewhat have been doing. Well, they were doing that in the past, but now that kind of changed. Like, I think to my knowledge, the last game that wouldn't be day one on PlayStation is the latest Forza game. But as of right now, like the Halo remake is day one on PlayStation when it launched, and also Fable. So maybe they're gonna revert it back to, hey, this game will not launch on PlayStation after this time or something. We don't know. We just gotta wait and see and stuff. Because the thing is, like, people will try to point out, well, the Xbox games are not selling on PlayStation, which is not really true. Because you got Minecraft sold well on PlayStation, Sea of Thieves sold well on PlayStation. Even Forza 5 that came out a couple of years back, that thing sold 5 million on PlayStation. So there are games that are selling well on PlayStation. It just had to be the right game to sell well on PlayStation. Even Starfield that just came out, it was in the top 5 of the best selling games on PlayStation for the month. So it has to be that certain game that would sell well on PlayStation. So they're probably going to be looking at that. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Alright. The other bit of Xbox news we have is evolving the Halo Studios. Halo Studios are ditching Battle Royale in favor of an extraction shooter for an upcoming project, according to reports. And this have a lot of people who are fans of Halo a little bit upset, because they're seeing Halo, instead of being the defining first-person shooter that it was in the past, is they now seeing it is starting to become a like another game that's chasing a trend. Like when it came to the whole like it's like it started with Halo 4. People would say like when Halo 4 came out, it was starting to play like a Call of Duty game. Halo 5 was what was it? Like a what they described it as some other type of shooter, but I can't really remember. But basically, they didn't really like how Halo 5 was compared to the old Halo game. And Halo Infinite, that became like an open world game that people describe as like freaking Breath of the Wild on the world and everything, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. But yeah, and there was like a whole rumor that I forgot the name of the studio that was working along them, but it was said like they were supposedly was gonna do a battle royale game and stuff. But Halo Infinite, like the updates for Halo Infinite, kind of stopped. So more than likely they're shifting to the next Halo. But yeah, they've been chasing trends, and now they're trying to do an extraction shooter, which I believe extraction shooter at this point in time is good becoming the next meta and stuff because like we got Marathon, Arc Raiders. Well, Arc Raiders is like the biggest one right now. You got Marathon, Arc Raiders, and I believe there's another game that I'm low key forgetting about. But yeah, we had a we're mostly gonna start getting more extraction shooters and stuff since the fandom for Battle Royale kind of died down. Then literally after Battle Royale, it was Soul Games that was the next fandom. So it kind of feels like extraction shooters might be the next meta, but we'll see how that turns out in the end. But we'll see what Halo Steals is gonna do because as of right now, people are not really feeling their move. So I digress. But anyway, that's the end of the video. What do you guys think? Are you guys liking the moves that Xbox have been doing recently with the whole new CEO? Which I have a feeling that the fandoms is basically doing to her what they did to Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond and stuff. It is interesting to see how quickly they all switched up on them once they left. It's kind of funny in my opinion, but hey, they love the execs, so it is what it is. So, are you gonna be looking forward for the next Assassin's Creed game? Are you gonna be getting the Black Flag resync day one? Are you gonna wait and see approach? And are you gonna pick up Pragmata or Suros for the end of April? Let me know in the comments below. This is Storm. All you guys enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos in the future and also other games I'm gonna be streaming. I'm still thinking about streaming Soros, but we'll see when that comes out. So until the next video, I'll catch you guys later. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and peace out.